Hello and welcome to News 9. I'm Nishchita, and first up, Congress MLA from Srinivasapura Ramesh has raised a storm in the House. MLA Ramesh stated that he had spent 35,000 rupees in his first elections, but in these elections he had to spend 3.5 crore rupees. Ramesh highlighted this issue to bring to light the prevailing corrupt practices in the system, but the question arises, from where did Ramesh get that much money to pay up during the polls? Ramesh stated that this issue was openly discussed during the engineers' convention. They irked the minister in charge of the department, Mahadevappa, who stated that Ramesh was lying. On the other hand, the latest accused in the CD bribe case, H.D. Kumaraswamy, stood up and stated that he had spoken about the system's helplessness in dealing with the corrupt deep-seated in the system. Well, let's not forget that MLA Ramesh has time and again made some controversial statements in connection to the Vijayanand Kashyapanavar case. The MLA had gone on to state that all MLAs, all leaders deal with the police officials the same manner, and that MLA Vijayanand Kashyapanavar was only stupid enough to get caught. But here we have Ramesh going a step further, going on to openly declare how he spent over 3 crore rupees in his election campaign, which is a clear violation of the rules and norms set by the Election Commission. And joining in with the chorus was H.D. Kumaraswamy, who was recently embroiled in the CD gate. Kumaraswamy was caught on tape saying how he had to spend money and that he had to take money in exchange of tickets as well, and that corruption in elections is nothing new. My colleague Akshita joins us with more details on this. Well, Akshita, one more faux pas, can we say, being made by Ramesh?
Absolutely. It almost seems like he's trying to land himself in more trouble there, Nishita. What we have to keep in mind is that particularly with Ramesh making this statement, we could be looking at a lot more chaos in the assembly over the corruption issue. Yes, it has been highlighted in the past, but of course this time around, with Ramesh also jumping into the fray, almost agreeing with Kumaraswamy and also going ahead and citing his own example, it's definitely going to lead to a lot of controversy. Once again, to highlight to you exactly what took place in the session today, we understand that the Srinivasapura MLA from Congress, Ramesh, had stated that he spent nearly 3.5 crores in the elections. No doubt this is a huge problem with regards to the Election Commission, keeping in mind, of course, that there is a certain limit on the expenditure as well. So considering that, of course, there looks like there are a lot of issues at hand, and of course it looks like the MLA has stated that he spent 3.5 crore rupees during the polls. Not just that, Nishita, also to highlight the kind of corruption that we look at in the system, he's gone ahead and stated that he's also gone ahead and seen the kind of corruption prevalent in a recent convention in Dharwad. This was an engineers convention where he claims that money was being openly quoted, sums were being quoted by engineers from different areas, and this is what has led to him saying that there is a lot of corruption in the area. Having said that, of course, it led to quite a bit of uproar, considering that he pointed out a particular incident. He stated that this was a convention in Dharwad, the engineers convention, and after he stated this, Nishita, H.C. Mahadevappa, who is of course the PWD minister, he came out and immediately stated that Ramesh was lying and that there was absolutely no truth to the statement he was making. In fact, Mahadevappa stood up for his department and said that there is no corruption as such, and that if Ramesh had spent such an amount, that in itself is questionable. Now, adding to all this drama was H.D. Kumaraswamy. It almost seemed like he wanted to add the icing on the cake. He went on to state that time and again he's tried to highlight the kind of corrupt practices that are present in the society, but to no avail. We have to keep in mind, of course, that there's a huge controversy, and it was along the lines of that being discussed that Ramesh himself has gone ahead and spoken. But no doubt, Nishita, this will lead to a lot more anger. There has been a lot of controversy over what happened with H.D. Kumaraswamy. While he has has gone ahead and defended himself, stated that there are a lot of ministers, a lot of politicians who go ahead and indulge in the same. He's gone ahead and stated that he will go ahead and expose the other politicians. Ramesh seems to be on a different spree altogether. The MLA seems to have decided that besides going ahead and exposing corruption, he's going to come out and make these kind of claims and thinks he can get away with it. So we will have to wait and watch to see if the assembly debates this further, whether in fact they will go ahead and question Ramesh on exactly how he's managed to spend 3.5 crore rupees on the election, where he got that kind of money from, and of course whether in fact he will provide some sort of details with regards to that bizarre statement, Nishita.
Right, absolutely. In fact, the last time around we saw such a controversy was when H.D. Kumaraswamy was caught on tape saying that he had given out tickets in exchange of money, and the union government had gotten involved with the Home Ministry, even seeking a report from the state government on the same. This time around, will we see the Election Commission actually getting involved, taking these statements seriously and looking into the matter further?
Well, there's no doubt that there's going to be a lot of anger over what Ramesh has said. Now, while he has made this statement, no doubt there will have to be a more corroboration with regards to whether there's any truth. A lot of verification needs to be done as well to find out whether, in fact, Ramesh did spend that huge sum. To a great extent, Rishita, it is understood that a lot of these parties, a lot of these leaders did spend a huge sum, but they kept it hushed up and they refused to talk about it. But with Ramesh going ahead and stating that, yes, in almost confessing and stating that, yes, he spent crores of rupees in the elections, there's no doubt that the EC will not let this go. They will go ahead and conduct the necessary investigations. In all likelihood, they will start a probe. As you mentioned, Nishita, with regards to the H.D. Kumaraswamy case, there was a lot of anger. The union government, the union home ministry got involved. There is already a probe taking place to find out exactly what took place. So with the Srivasapura MLA also going ahead and saying this, will we be looking at a probe being set up against him, and will that in fact affect the Congress is something that we need to look into. Ramesh, of course, has been always known to dig his own grave of sorts. He's always made the most bizarre and probably the most outright of statements, and this time around, will his this particular attitude in fact cost him and his party is something that we will need to wait and watch. But hopefully this issue doesn't die down, Nishita, and the officials concerned do go ahead and take note of what Ramesh has said, and the necessary action is taken. If in fact he was just saying it to prove a point, no doubt Ramesh will be taken to a book, no matter what, whether he is guilty or not, for simply making such a loud statement, Nishita.
Right, absolutely. Thank you for joining us with all those details there, Akshata. Well, there we have it. In this case, Ramesh Kumar has openly gone on to say how he has spent over 3 crore rupees for his election campaigning, which is a clear violation of the Model Code of Conduct.